Hello, Jimjamatic here. Welcome to a brand new episode of Robots Episode Reviewed. It is Heat I of Series 2, and I'm joined by my co-host once again. It is Anderson. Hello, Anderson.
Hello, a recently ill Anderson who is now better.
Yes.
My voice is not exactly right at the moment, sorry.
You won't be getting too much shouting from Anderson, hopefully in this episode at least anyway, but there's no reason to, really, but even if you wanted it, you won't get it.
Yes.
That's probably the reason why there's been a slight delay in the episodes, because I've already pre-recorded the next episode, Heat J, with Sam, and so hopefully if this episode comes out, and hopefully in the day I'm recording this, you'll get a double pack of episodes in one go, so...
I know, very exciting.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, yeah. I mean, it's Anderson letting the side down, getting ill.
As usual, yeah.
Honestly.
I was ill for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, mate.
Professionalism, hey?
I know.
But anyway, as we mentioned last week, actually, this is Anderson's favourite Heat of Series 2. So, hopefully it might cheer up a little bit. It's getting you...
It is, yes. Well, I actually enjoyed watching it to get ready for this, because it is my favourite Heat of the series, for reasons which we will get into in a bit.
Yes, we will. But we can't really start Heat without talking about the robots first. And first of all, is actually quite a classic robot in my eyes. It's been here since this series. They've never faltered in being in any series as of yet, and it is King Buxton.
Well, they weren't in Series 6.
Oh, they weren't in Series 6, granted, but they made up for it by being in 2016. That was something, at least. We got to see King B remix, which was very nice. And as I mentioned before, I like seeing Simon Harrison again. He's a great roboteer. He's up there. Like, a lot of people kind of don't mention him as much. A lot of people mention like George Francis, and they're good as well. But for the amount of time he's been here, he's always been like really positive about being on the show. Even if ever since Series 2, he's not had that much success. But and his robots, obviously, I'm not saying they've got the best robots out there, but you always enjoy seeing King Buxton again, or whatever remix or whatever version of King Buxton comes out next.
You can tell he enjoys doing it as well. He's actually a true Robot Wars personality. We respect you, Simon Harrison.
Oh, I completely respect Harrison, and it was nice seeing him in 2016 as well, because it's almost like he hasn't really, he's not changed. He's still back with the same basic robot as he got last time, but now he's got drills on the lifting forks because they helped a lot.
Yes, and a weird dip in the back.
Which I'm sure was very necessary in the design. But back to King Buxton though, this was always a very good robot. I always like it just had that good combination of speed and driving, and also a decent amount of strength because
decent weaponry.
Decent weaponry for this series. I mean, granted, I think the Series 3 version was slightly better, but that's unfortunately Series 3. Actually, no, this series. oh, you might lose Anderson in this recording.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. One thing that seems to have plagued this robot and this team throughout his entire run is burning out.
Yes, reliability is an arse.
Even in the series, even the 2016 series, it didn't burn out; it just broke down this time. Yeah. But again, at first, it was against a spinner, granted, but against Big Nipper, granted, that made more sense to be hit by that. But in other times, against things like Roadblock in the semi-finals and 101, it just burns out without any real reason. It just went out of nowhere. Yeah. And in the case, I think was it Series 7? I think it just kind of went out of control, or Series 5. It just started spinning around randomly.
That was against 101 in Extreme 1.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, I remember at one point it just went out, just spazzed out randomly, and just a bit like how Behemoth went in forward drive one time. It just sort of just didn't do what it wanted to do. And it's a shame because if this robot was more reliable, it could get a lot more. It could have probably beaten 101 next series. Yeah. I think it was winning against 101, in my opinion, until the burnout happened. So
that was a good fight.
It was a good heat, in my opinion. Well, apart from one.
Apart from one, we won't go there. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But it was, to me, the two best robots in this heat managed to make the heat final, which is good to see, because I'm glad to see the two ones with the best pushing power and the best drive were the ones managed to make it. And then in the end, surprisingly, King Buxton had more drive, because the one that seemed to appear to have more drive didn't.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
King Buxton, in my opinion, is a robot that was actually built for Series 2, perfected, really, because it was invertible, so wedges couldn't affect it as much. It was four-wheel drive, so it had the power to get through all the really heavy obstacles. It was small, so you could get through tight spaces. It was nippy, and quick, so it could get out of danger quickly. And whilst you do say, I still think All-Talk had more push, but because it had the lifting forks, it could lift their wheels off the ground, and then it could therefore push them around.
Yeah,
So that in my opinion, so that's what I'm saying. I think King B was a robot that was all round actually a really well built robot for Series 2 and was highly unlucky to lose in the semi-finals.
it was. It was again. It was just that motor issue that seemed to plague them throughout their entire series and run, which is such a shame. So that one thing throughout. It wasn't like they weren't like Razor that managed to kind of improve it past Series 5, but here it just could never get that problem out of the way. It was always a shame, really. I mean, I don't know why it was such a constant issue. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way it was built. I don't know.
I don't think it was much of a problem. I mean, in Series 7 it got KO'd by a hit from IG-88. I mean, that's
that's honourable.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can't remember actually how it lost to Dominator 2, but I've written a warranty, but I can't actually remember. I have to rewatch it. If someone's going to comment anyway telling me what happened, but yeah. I can't remember whether that was a motor burnout, whether they were actually KO'd. It might have been one of the judges. I honestly don't know.
I can't remember, but that was Series 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, Series 5.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't remember Series 5, so
that's going to be an interesting one to go through.
It's one of the few times actually, because up until about Series 4, I don't generally have to watch the episodes beforehand because I remember them so well. Series 5, I'm going to have to watch the episodes because I'm going to forget all the robots in it without the wiki page in front of me. Yeah. So
Get Sam on board, he'll know it all.
yeah, that's true. But anyway, yes, that's King Buxton, a very, very powerful robot, very just a very fun robot to see, and was at least consistent for the most they could run. They weren't like constantly like going out in the first round, then like something like Thermidor winning their heat, and then on the next series getting knocked out in the first round. They always stayed in their heat for the most part. They always kind of stayed in the same realm, but just a shame they never really did better, unfortunately. But speaking of a robot that went really downhill over the years, and it's not Stegosaurus, because we'll get to that one, but that's another one that really went downhill, but All Talk. Now, the problem is...
It makes me hit my head on a wall.
It's annoying, right. For those obviously who don't know, All Talk has competed in 5 series, I believe, the main series, and Extreme. The first, and
5. And Extreme, yeah.
Yeah, series 2 and 3, it retains the name All Talk, and it was good. It was good in Series 2 and 3. In Series 3, it changed the design slightly, but it was essentially a box with 4 wheels with a lot of pushing power, and a little scoop on the front this time. And it was really good. It had a good match against Wild Thing. It lost because of at the end of the day, it just burns out. The only reason it lost, it was a good tussle, good pushing power. Survived for a long time against Razor in the International Championship. It
did really well, yeah.
Did well there, and then unfortunately in Series 4 they made Small Talk, which sucked. It just did nothing. Small Talk. I don't know how they got lucky getting past the first round, really. And then in Series 5, and the Extreme Series first of all, they had Fighting Talk, which is that's the appropriate reaction. Oh God. And then and then Series 5 they hit Hippopotamus.
Yeah. A plastic sand bit.
And they wondered why they lost, to be honest. I love the kid was really upset about it, and I said last time, I don't mind kids being in the show, but this one was really devastated by it. I was like, what do you expect, kid? You're against Stinger. Yeah. You're against the grand finalist of Series 4.
And you're a plastic sand bit.
Exactly. And this is the thing, like, it's not the Steg guys, while they did make 3 Stegs to Heaven, they had the slight excuse that the guy who really was the forefront of the team left between Series 4 and 5.
Yes.
Right, this is the main guy for All Talk was in every series.
Yeah.
So there was no excuse for this, I feel like. It's like, there wasn't like, George Francis left Chaos 2 in Series 7, they made a really shit robot in Series 7, something random like that could have happened. It was like, no, the guy who was in the entire series was there, and he still managed to get worse and worse after Series 3. And it's a shame, because this series of All Talk was, in another heat, could have been a heat semi-finalist.
Oh, easily, yeah.
By far.
You would take any robot from Napalm's heat and replace it with All Talk.
Or Hardvark's heat.
Or Hardvark's heat. All Talk.
Yeah, because Hardvark was the only robot that could have put a fight against him.
I'm sorry, but All Talk would have beat Hardvark.
Oh, it would have, but it would have been the closest to a match they would have got in that heat. But
yes.
This All Talk's really powerful. I mean, it's the fastest. It's 20 miles an hour, full of pushing power. Its namesake isn't a lie. It is All Talk. I mean, it's the only robot to win the joust, essentially.
Yes.
The only robot to even get past the first little circle bit as well. So
yes, exactly.
That's an achievement.
It's a very tough robot, All Talk.
The one thing I didn't get about All Talk, though, is how come the spikes in the front had little pads on them?
I have no idea.
It's weird.
What
I
that
mean,
was about.
I don't really get that. I mean, it would make more sense to make him actually proper spikes if you want to put some damage on it. But they're like, look,
Unless they were used to get underneath robots, maybe.
But they were so they were too high up to be underneath though. They weren't on the floor.
I know.
So I don't know, but
It was random.
but apart from
Series
that,
2, everybody.
apart from that though, all talk. It didn't. It's not like the most beautiful looking robot, but it did its job.
It was proper grimy. It was a grungy guzzler.
Yeah, from its
It just literally bashed the shit out of anything it'd seen.
I mean, from its Gauntlet run, you wouldn't have seen that. You didn't see too much special, but from its trial, that's when you started going, this thing's a contender.
Yeah.
This thing is a damn good contender. It's such a shame King Buxton was the one to beat it, because this thing could have been really good as well.
In
But
fact,
then,
I've actually just realised something.
what's that?
The only robot to essentially win a trial, or be the only robot in its heat to win a trial, and go on to win the heat, was Plunderbird.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, hang on. Did anybody else win the King of the Castle in Plunderbird's heat?
No, I think because the mule just kind of sat there and took it.
Yeah.
That's all that happened
But
to the mule.
Plunderbird actually got them off the ramp and took off. I probably am talking absolute rubbish there, actually. But yeah, from what I can remember, Plunderbird's the only one because All Talk won the joust, lost in the heat final.
Chaos won the tug of war.
Won the tug of war. Yeah, lost in the heat final.
Yep.
All that stuff.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird things, isn't it?
Yeah. But All Talk was a very good robot for a first attempt in Series 2, and it's a shame that when they returned in Series 3 they had an unlucky draw.
Unfortunate. But yeah, in fairness, they lost to a good robot though. Although they had a very good push against Crippler, that was a good pitting. That was a very awesome pit. But now the next, we'll go to the better of the two robots who made it to the battles. Robo Dock first of all.
Yes,
The massive, bulky 101, this thing. It's actually what Robo Dock is. It's 101 on steroids.
Yes, it's 101 mated with Caterkiller from Series 4.
Exactly, I was going to say Caterkiller as well. It's exactly like Caterkiller in many ways.
Again, going back to spike problems, okay, this robot, right, it's spike. It was basically designed to impale robots and then lift them once it spiked them. He may as well just made it a lifting arm.
Yeah, I don't know why the spikes are there, but I mean, it's a very odd design, but we get to see Mike Franklin for the first time.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Again, Mike Franklin is, much like Simon Harrison, in my opinion, a guy who falls very much beneath the radar of what people consider to be great roboteers and legends of the show.
He's a great guy.
He entered from Series 2 to Series 6. He made a semi-final. He made what is considered the best walker of all time. He's a engineering genius. I mean, just some of the things that Jonathan Pierce said that he made in his spare time. Like he made like a jet-powered surfboard. One of them. he was like some sort of mad scientist. It was brilliant. And he's one of the unfortunate lesser-known legends. And he's also one of the few people to actually join the Robot Wars tech crew in Series 7, along with George Francis,
Kim Davis.
Pritchard.
Kim Davis is there.
Not Kevin Pritchard, bloody idiot. Kim Davis, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Oh God, there were a couple of others as well, but I can't remember who they were.
Alan Gribble was also in the thing there as
yes.
well. Alan Gribble was there as well.
Yes, Alan Gribble.
Yep.
And Mike Franklin joined them as well. So he was obviously one of the few considered to be good enough to do that.
One thing I liked about Mike Franklin as well is he also stormed techno games with Anarchy and the little mini Anarchy he made.
Yes.
Scuttle was it?
I love Scuttle B squared.
And it was like massive Scuttle, wasn't it? For like and it just dominated every event, all the running events. Apart from the first year, it just exploded on itself.
I remember in the circuit series when they were like, when everyone was like, oh no, it can't be that fast, it can't be that fast.
Pew! It's gone.
Fine, cheers for coming. Thanks, lads.
Although it was in a disastrous way, very hilarious watching the first series just explode.
Yeah.
Just it died. I was like, oh god. And next year back again.
It's very much like Razor. It
died. It was.
First appearance, it dominated everything it entered.
Unlike Razor, it took less time to get going.
Also, actually, Mike Franklin's a bit of a bad boy because he got disqualified in Techno Games Series 3.
What was that again?
Assault course with Transpower, which is 101 Transpower.
Oh yeah.
Against Bugs Buggy because they impeded their attempt to run the course. So basically, they got in the way. I think they tried knocking them out of the way or something, and because of it, they were disqualified.
Oh, hey. Well, that's not nice. But back to back to Robo Dock. I talked a lot about Mike Franklin, but Robo Dock is actually quite a good robot. I just feel like, again, the lifter was its biggest problem. Like, the lifter was not a lifter, it was a spike that impaled you, but then the lifter couldn't really... Once you impale something, it's very hard to lift them up. Really, only crushers can do that. Like, spikes themselves are very hard to lift things up with, and I felt like the way it was designed as well, the spike didn't go that far out of the body. So, even then...
It also suffered from a problem that 101 would suffer in Series 3, which is why they added those weird yellow prongs to the front. And that's that, because its tracks went around the outside, they go to push into them and just drive up them.
That's the problem with a lot of tracked robots, isn't it? If you put...
Yes.
Suicidal Tendencies had the same problem in Series 3.
Yeah, which is why they put lifting forks and then a scoop crusher thingy on the front.
Although a very depressing moment later on with 101 in Series 5 against Fluffy.
Oh.
Imagine, it shows you, though, how quickly the robots improved by Series 5. I mean, Series 4, 101 was still tolerable in Series 4. By Series 5, it was outdated, which is a shame.
Yeah.
It was a shame.
Series 4, it was still considered a semi-final worthy contender.
Not in Series 5.
But not in Series 5. No, sorry, I meant Series 4, sorry. Series 4, but in Series 5, it was a first-round dropout.
It was such a shame. It was a big shame. But they came back with Anarchy in Series 6, and they only lost because of Tornado, which in fairness is not a bad robot to lose to, because it's a good robot. Yes. But it's still amazing. Yeah.
Stinger was the same, though, as well, wasn't it, really? I mean, it went from Grand Finalist to Heat Finalist overnight, basically.
Pretty much. And Thermidor just didn't know what it was doing half the time.
Yeah. Drugs.
Anyway. But, yeah, so that was Robo Dock, a pretty decent robot, but again, King Buxton, was just a bit more maneuverable than it overall. Now, Prometheus. Prometheus is a thing.
Not the American robot.
Oh,
from the World Championship. That was even worse.
That was worse. I can't wait to get to that one because that was amazing. But back to Prometheus. This robot. At least they came back with General Carnage 2 in Series 5, and and even the Series 3 version wasn't that bad. But
I think the best thing about this robot was the guy's accent.
Oh, the Yorkshire.
Yeah, General Carnage. It was absolutely brilliant.
General Carnage. You got a saw at the front and a forklift at the back. I love it. I love the Yorkshire accent. I mean, it's the same with PS Resistance, isn't it? At the back, we got some sparks that will hopefully peel our opponents and lift them up with a snowplow. But no, I love it.
Because they've got the scoops so we can get under the bricks and move them out the way.
Actually, one thing I do like is, I mean, I do like the team actually because they were, even though Robot wasn't the best, they were pretty happy. They were pretty nice about the whole affair, really.
Oh yeah, they were another team.
And General Carnage 2 friggin' surprised me in Series 5. I didn't think that flipper was going to be that powerful.
Yeah.
But Stinger...
Fair play to them.
Oh, they're off the same heat as Stinger and Hippopotamus. But yeah, they lost to Stinger in the second round, and they just got buffeted to death like Stinger always seems to do with anything. But
that's because Stinger was Bay.
Stinger was Bay, and Prometheus is one of those robots that's just like, all right, I can see what they're trying to do with it, but it's so ineffectual. Prometheus.
Yeah.
Like what was that forklift to the back?
Was its bad driving.
Well, actually,
it had those little casters at the front, didn't it?
Yeah, it had no power to go up a ramp.
It just got in the way.
They had no power to go up the ramp the entire heat. I mean, there's 2 times that they tried to go up a ramp and failed at both times.
Yes.
Which is pretty hilarious.
The circular saw was ridiculously unreliable. It was more unreliable than Sergeant Bash's circular saw.
No, I won't go that far.
And the forklift wasn't really that effective too, but I tell you what, kudos for trying. It's not the worst Series 2 robot by a long stretch.
I mean, it's not the worst robot in the heat, but yeah, it's fine for Series 2. I mean, at least General Carnage sort of looked kind of cool in Series 3, and the second version in Series 5 was just actually effectual.
For me, this is something you can feel sympathetic about. It's like, it's like the kid at school doesn't do very well at PE, but here you go, mate, you tried.
That's true.
It didn't fail too badly.
I know what you mean. It's sort of like Sting from last heat.
Yes.
I don't mind it that badly. It's just it's a decent. Oh, Talos in the next heat. They're not bad. They're just there. They're not the best thing ever. They still worked at least for the most part.
Exactly.
So that's really just Prometheus, really. Nothing too amazing. But now we have Viola for the next one. Now this thing probably is the worst robot in the heat on a technical aspect.
Yes.
Because this thing has a mountain of ground clearance. You can see all the wheels on this thing. It's just I was amazed at how it's like something like 5 centimeters, something like that.
Oh, easily more than that.
Oh,
I wouldn't it was 5 inches.
It's yawning. Second of all, they thought spikes were still effective. This is still in Series 2, by the way, so they thought, just stick spikes around the entire robot.
which I don't get why they did for the Gauntlet in the trials, because it just got them caught on everything, for God's sake.
And Sir Kill-Lot was happy to do some dentistry on it.
Yes.
But the best thing about this team, though, is not the robot, in my opinion. I love Dominic Rott. This guy is right. I mean, I think I said in the last heat previously, but a lot of people go on like, there's kids in the past, and obviously, the most famous one is definitely from Big Brother, but
Joe Watts.
Yeah, Joe Watts. I mean, I like Joe Watts. I don't mind. He's fine. He doesn't bother me. But this kid, how much enthusiasm this kid had to get past the first round.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And when he lost, he didn't give a shit.
I'd like kids
like
that.
He threw his hands in the air and said, "I've lost. Happy days. Well done."
There are a few
Good
kids.
lad.
There are a few kids that did like that. The kid in the the kid in Demolisher did that. And actually, we were talking about 101. I always liked Amy Franklin as well. She never really cried about it. She just got on with it.
If anything, she didn't really do anything, did she? She just sat there with a bunny in her hand. But
I'd rather do that. I'd rather have her do that than cry about every time she lost.
Exactly, exactly. Fair play. But Dominic Rott as a lad, and also, right, it's pretty funny because, okay, it may have took him 5 years, but he did come back eventually with his own robot that he built himself, because obviously this one his dad built.
Yeah, it was Constrictor.
And he came back with Constrictor in Series 7. Didn't make too good of a crack, but, it's the attempt that counts.
Agreed,
And Constrictor does have a victory over Firestorm, technically.
Technically?
Yeah, Techno Games.
Oh, of course, yes. Oh, yes.
The football, Constrictor and Hellbent, the skeleton group, beat Team Snowcat, which, by the way, this is absolutely hilarious. I remember watching this as a kid, right? Thinking to myself, Snowstorm and Cat's Whiskers got silver medal last year, and they lost in the first round to Hellbent and Constrictor. It's like, what?
It's terrible. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, also, Graham Bone renowned for being one of the best drivers ever, and Snowstorm in that football match, literally going everywhere but where the ball was. It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. I agree, but, so that was Rottweiler.
Yes. I think really about it. Again, in all fairness, I mean, I would say it's probably towards the latter end of the series, as when it comes to good robots. It definitely is at the bottom end of robots that are good. But,
the enthusiasm.
It's not the worst, and like I said, enthusiasm overrides all. So
the enthusiasm shone through.
And Dominic Rott, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt, but if you are, please try and make another robot.
I want to see it.
We want to see a new mate. Come on, you left 5 years between Rottweiler and Constrictor. There's been enough time between Constrictor and the new one.
There was a Rottweiler 2, but it didn't make it in Series 3, unfortunately.
Yeah, yes.
Actually, I kind of liked Rottweiler 2 because it was a bit more low to the ground. It was like Rottweiler from Series 2, but they just kind of chopped all the ground clearance off.
Yes.
And it's a shame, really, but oh well.
It happens early, don't they?
Now, the last robot. Joe, I'm going to say this right now. It made one of the most pitiful Gauntlet runs I've ever seen in my life. I've seen PS Resistance.
Yeah.
Cruella. And I'm gonna again. I never target a robot here individually. I'm not even saying as a horrible thing against the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy and all. Philip Martin, you can't drive. Twice in a row, you have ruined a simple wedge robot and managed to make it go everywhere but straight.
Yeah.
I don't get why you can't. I mean, again, I know it's not easy to control a robot. I know that, but it's not the hardest design to drive, surely, is it?
I'm actually going to say this right. I mean, driving is a hard thing to do. Okay, I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is to do that. All right, and me and on the RoboCast with the Sam and Dave, me and Dave did have a rant about it, and we said, look, driving is one of the most hardest things to do, and it's a very important, but at the same time, it's also, and I'm sure Dave agrees with us, it's also a very important aspect of robot combat. And if you can't drive, you shouldn't drive. In all honesty, Philip Martin, he wasn't the best driver in the world.
It shows.
But I also personally believe that this Cruella was a massive downgrade. Partly because it's ground clearance at the front, which is still a wedge, by the way.
Yeah, high up.
Floor anymore.
It's true. It was
because its weapon motor was protruding out the top of the
Joe, I'd argue that the weapon motor was larger than the weapon itself.
It was.
I honestly, I was rewatching this episode about 10 minutes before we recorded, and I couldn't see the saw. I could never saw the saw the entire. I don't know if it was never on. It's 6 inches.
6 inches.
6-inch circular saw. I'm not joking.
Sub, lads. It's half a sub from Subway. There we go.
That is half like a average 30 centimeter ruler, 15 centimeters worth of saw. I mean, it's so high to the ground as well. I just don't know what they're expecting. Like, I mean, Cruella in Series 1, granted, it's not most aesthetically pleasing robot, but it did what it needed to do. It was a good wedge, and ended up driving into the grill. But my point being that it was a good wedge. It would have actually beaten Robot the Bruce if it gone to judge's decision, and he hadn't driven on the grill, as I said. But this version, I don't know what he was doing in this version in Series 2. He just started like driving he went to the ram rig, then decided to give up, then decided to go backwards. The ball hit him in the face. Then he started to try to go to the brick wall, didn't the ramp, sorry, didn't go the way. Cicalot pushed him backwards into the saws again, and he went 1.9 meters. That's the second worst Gauntlet run excluding like the semi-finals in the series, like in the main heats. Yeah. This robot did not do very well. I mean, it's weird because like it was technically, if you really think about it, it's technically the favourite for the heat in terms of experience.
That does actually make my brain hurt a little bit.
Yeah, because every other robot is new.
It's the only robot that's a veteran in this heat, isn't it?
Yeah. Considering that next series had GBH,
The next heat had GBH, yeah.
And this one's...
Bloody hell. Yeah, but GBH was actually competent.
No, GBH was a good lifter. This wasn't. It was a terrible... it was like back heavy. So it was front would lift up.
I mean, Series 2 should have an idea that circular saws would go up and down. I'm sorry. I mean, the only good circular saw there ever really was Dead Metal's one. And the reason why is because it was well hidden within the body so it didn't ricochet out and shatter and all that. And it was on a pressure system so it slowly lowered into its opponent. Which is why I liked Hardmarks in Series 3 because it was sort of similar to that. But,
6-inch though, 6-inch. Oof.
6-inch, yeah.
Oh man, so yeah, Corella's a bit of a mess.
Yeah.
It's bad when you can't get a wedge right. It's bad when you can't get a wedge right, but... Yeah, that was Cruella. I mean, now the Gauntlet, this is actually quite an interesting thing about the Gauntlet. Along with Heat L, it's the only heat where not a single robot made it to the end. Think about that. In Heat A, someone made it to the end.
Oh, mate.
Actually, in fact, I think it was 2 robots that made it to the end in the series. No, 3 in Heat A. Half the robots made it. Victor, Demolition Demon, and Pandemonium all made it to the end. In this heat, nobody, and we had King Buxton.
In the featherweight heat, they did it.
We have
in Heat Series 1, they managed to do it.
In this heat, we have King Buxton, Robo Dock, and All Talk. All 3 could have made it to the end, but you know what happened? The house robots just sat their asses in the front and went, nope, you're not getting past. Yeah. And then just blocked them. People call bullshit in Panic Attacks Heat, where the house robots just lifted up the ramp so they couldn't move. But here, they just parked their arse in the middle lane. And then nobody could get past them. Like Robo-Dock was the worst example because Robo-Dock came in, Sergeant Bash was on one side. He tried to go past Cicalot. Cicalot came in, tried to go backwards. Matilda came up his arse, and it just pinned in.
They got confused. They thought it was British Bulldog trial.
Yeah, Alltalk got stuck in a barrel randomly, and just couldn't recover. King Buxton. I don't know what was dry. It must have some interference. He kept spazzing into the wall, spazzing into the wall constantly. They did it in the intro.
Yes.
And they did it here. I just went into the wall straight away. I was like, okay. And then he went onto the ramp. Then he fell off the ramp, and then just got caught by the house robots. It was just like, what was going on in these battles? Then you have Prometheus can't go up a ramp. And then gives up halfway through and decides to go past the Sentinel, which it can't even get past. When they get... Rottweiler gets stuck on... I guess it looks like it gets stuck on the arena wall, I swear.
That's a bit spikes, yeah, it did, yeah. The spikes got jammed into the sidewall.
And thankfully, luckily Sir Clark decided to do a bit of dentistry on it and just chop one of them off outright. A bit like... it's not the funniest one. The funniest one for me is Dead Metal chopping off Bumblebot's axe in Series 3.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's so great. It's like, just useless weapon, get rid of it. And
I loved Shunt Dax going through any see-through armor. Oh,
that was always glorious. That was glorious, like Cassius 2 in Series 3.
Yes,
straight through
or World War 2 in Series 4.
Oh, I love that.
We are weird.
Yeah, we know. I know.
It's like some sort of fetish.
Oh yeah.
Probably weird, actually.
But then Cruella. I mentioned Cruella's run, but it was a nightmare of a run. Nothing went well for it in the slightest. He crashed into the ram rig. How do you crash into the side of the ram rig? I've never seen a robot do that before. It wasn't even in the ram rig and it crashed into it.
Dreadful. But
I don't know if they can't see that bit very well or not, but I don't know. But either way, nobody had a good run. Nobody had a good run. Even the 3 best robots in the heat didn't get a good run.
Yeah.
And it was just a pitiful Gauntlet run.
Yeah.
It really
If it
was.
wasn't for the Gauntlet run, this heat would be ranked higher on my list of heats.
And the only thing is that if Cruella had just gone forward, it would have beaten Rottweiler probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get. That's one thing I never got. They did that in a few heats, and I never understood why there was a ramp that was like a fixed ramp and then a gap right next to it.
Yeah.
Just go down the gap. Don't go through this on the ramp. Like Phoenix did the same thing. It went on the ramp and then fell off, and then got stuck. And I was like, well, you could have gone the left hand side, but no, you just go. It didn't make a
the
difference.
dumbest decision made in a Gauntlet run was Mace's when it went in the waves off against Panic Attack. What were they thinking?
Or Death Trap, or Death Trap going backwards. That was always a classic.
Well, that was a bit stupid as well, yeah.
But yeah, this is a pretty shit Gauntlet run on all fronts, really.
Yes.
It was a pitiful run. I mean, arguably, I hate to say it, the ones in Heat L actually put more effort in. Oh, I hate to say that. But
That's your least favourite heat of this series, isn't it?
It's yours as well. Or is yours Heat A?
Mine's Heat A.
Oh, I mean, those two are pretty close to me, but Heat L, I think it's by Heat L, I think they could have. I don't know. There's something annoying about Heat L to me. I'll get to it, but it's only 2 heats away. I'm sure you'll enjoy doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that one, aren't I?
Yeah. But yeah, that was the Gauntlet run. Yay. Trials, on the other hand, was we came back to the joust back from Mortis's heat, and dare I say it, we got a robot that can actually do the joust well. I.e., All Talk.
Rottweiler.
No, All Talk. All Talk just completely destroyed. I mean, it got all the way over to the side before Matilda decided to go up the ramp, but then just kept ramming it until it just pushed it to the side, and then just.
I think it also shows a lot of power as they pushed it sideways.
Yeah,
when
that was
you push it
amazing.
Backwards, the wheels will roll.
Yeah.
And it sideways. And when you think, when Matilda was sideways, she was not much shorter than how the width of that ramp.
No.
So he was literally ramming it through a tight gap, and he still managed to do it.
Amazing. I mean, it shows how powerful All Talk is. I mean, yeah, it was. Yes, was. And yeah, actually, technically it was because Series 2 and 3 All Talks are powerful. The other ones weren't called All Talk. Technicalities. Yeah. But
exactly.
King Buxton and Robo Dock, to be fair, had the most standard run. All they do is what happens in every single one for the most part. They run to the middle, Matilda hits them, and then just get stuck off the edge. Nothing else happened. I was quite surprised how Matilda managed to flip Robo Dock over in one go. That was pretty amazing. And
that was pretty cool.
I think the tracks.
I think it was assisted by the tracks.
Yeah, the tracks. It was quite funny how this big machine went flopped over. I mean,
and it always looks good with Matilda's spark cannon.
That thing. Didn't do it. I don't get the point of that.
It looked good, bro. It looked good. It looked like, mate. I mean, what doesn't look good about a pig blowing its nose on something? There you
go. Many things, but we'll get to that later.
True.
And then we have now the battle of who can go up the ramp the worst.
Yeah.
In the case of Rottweiler versus Prometheus, and it's funny because the Prometheus is run first, and you think it can't get worse than minus 2.1 meters. It can.
Come on, Rottweiler.
I love the fact that Rottweiler could actually go up the ramp. It just kept because the casters kept making it go sideways.
Yeah, and also they added this again. They put the bloody spikes on it.
Also, I swear,
did not learn from the fact that they went in the Gauntlet that they get caught on the sidewalls.
I don't know. And then Rottweiler went pushed all the way back to the door, minus 2.8 meters.
That was pretty funny.
And it does.
But it was like, I've got to make this even worse than it was. Back you go.
I mean, I thought Challenger's minus 0.1 meters was terrible. But then you get to minus. I mean, it's bad when you came fourth and you got minus 2.1 meters. It's like a QI score. And the winner were minus 5. That's not a winner.
I remember. Oh god, that was so fun. I remember there was an episode where literally tonight's winner with minus 8 points. That was so funny.
Yeah, there was a winner this series who won minus 5. So I can't remember who it was, but yeah, that was a thing.
You actually watched it now with Danny Toxvig in it.
Of course, yeah, it's great.
Is she still good? Is she good? I haven't seen it with Danny Toxvig in it.
I personally, I'd say it's amazing. But we're not here to talk about the QI.
No, we're done.
We're here to talk about Robo Wars, and Rottweiler, unfortunately, we had to lose Dominic Rott. It was a shame, but he took his victory. He's lost pretty well.
Very well.
Actually, in fairness, I think he would have reacted the same if he won. To be honest with you.
Yes.
If anything, I think Prometheus might be slightly more sad to go out than they were.
Yes.
It's like shit. We have to fight now.
It's like, oh, no.
We have to face all
Yeah,
talk.
we didn't build this robot to fight. We built it to fall apart. We're in the bloody eats already. What's going on?
In fairness, I think Napalm thought the same thing and just kept getting, when they just kept winning.
Yeah, it's just like, David was like, how the bloody hell are we actually here? Seriously, like we didn't even do anything.
It's worse in series. That was worse in series 3 because in series 3 it's like Caterpillar. Fair enough, they're both as shit as each other. And then your Robo Pig, it's like, okay, we're just gonna shove you around for a bit. Don't fall over. Oh.
Yeah. And what I'd say were a bit daft. I mean, that was a bit daft because all they had to do was literally just hit reverse. Sorry, hit a certain switch, and the robot would literally just flip forwards. But instead, they kept moving the way they were moving, which made them fall onto their back.
Classic maneuver. We'll beat the enemy by beating ourselves.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, Rottweiler went out. Not too surprising really. It was either going to be Prometheus or Rottweiler, based on the Gauntlet run. And first battle, which is one of arguably the best battle of the entire series. Mm-hmm. King Buxton versus Robo Dock. I probably would say it is.
This is my favourite battle of the whole series.
I agree, because it's actually a good battle.
For many reasons. One, it was close. Two very interesting designs for the time, fighting it out, and all guns are blazing. Three, the PPZs were not clusterfucks, which shocked the hell out of me. I mean, literally, there was quite a few times that both of us went into the PPZs and they were actually able to get out without being gang raped.
Yep.
So, yes, get in. And four, wait, that's it. Sorry.
Oh,
no. And four, yeah, it started one of the arguably the first ever rivalry in Robot Wars.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think it is the first ever rivalry, along with Chaos 2 and Mace. Actually, Chaos 2 and Mace was okay, all right. Damn.
Oh, it's the most one of the longest running rivalries.
Yes.
It lasted until like Extreme, didn't it?
Yeah.
So that's quite a long.
With 101 winning.
Yay, that's good.
Yeah, but it just was a really good fight. Oh god, it was good.
It was a good fight, and I agree. It was just very backwards and forwards. I mean, I agree with the judge's decision. Definitely, King Buxton deserved to win that fight, but but Robo Dock definitely didn't just flounder around. They tried, and the most nail-biting moments when Robo Dock almost got pushed into the pit.
Yes.
Because you got Matilda. Was it Matilda pushing Robo Dock? Then put that all being pushed by King Buxton or something like that. It was something like that.
Yeah.
Like in like a little line.
Awesome.
Not as good as
when Robodock was climbing over all the house robots as well. It was funny.
It wasn't as funny as in 2016 when Foxic decided to push Dead Metal, which in turn got pushed by Shockwave.
Yeah.
That's like a conga line of just robots trying to push each other.
Follow the leader, follow the leader.
But yeah, this is a great fight. I'm glad I watched it because it's like one of the few fights in the series I really enjoyed watching all the way through. There wasn't like an obvious who's going to win. It was just a great fight, and yeah, nothing wrong with this fight, and the best robot won, but we'll see 101 again, we'll see them, and it'll be another good heat actually, that's another good heat as well.
A very underrated heat.
I agree, a bit like Wild Things heat, I love that heat as well.
Yeah, that's a good heat.
But now the second battle, which is a bit more obvious, who's going to win out of Prometheus versus Old Talk, I wonder?
Well, happy days.
The one with the saw fell off.
I'm going to say this, whilst it was very, very one-sided, it was again another class. Made me very happy simply because there was no bullshit with the house robots.
I agree.
It was a good, clean fight, center of the arena, and the better robot won.
They learned the lesson from the Gauntlet. They learned the lesson from the Gauntlet because they didn't do it again. Did do it again, and yeah, and I don't know how Prometheus' saw fell off. It just kind of just plopped off out of nowhere.
Series 2, bro.
Yeah, Series 2. And then it's all committed suicide. Yeah. It's like, well, I'm going to go in the pit.
Prometheus, they actually did try. I mean, they let's be honest, you can't honestly tell me that they thought they had a chance against All Talk.
No, they would never have a chance.
Performance in the joust, but they gave it a try, and in all fairness, that's all we could ask them for.
I agree.
That Razorblade in Series 4, they knew that they had a robot that wasn't working properly, but they put it in there anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Fair play.
And then the final was actually quite an anticipated final for me, because either one of these robots could have won.
Yes.
King Buxton and Old
Talk. I think this is the only heat where I think both robots actually had a strong chance of winning.
Actually, no, Chaos and Mace, actually. Chaos and Mace.
Yes, that one too, yeah.
Though always cropping up those two, but they're because I like, that's one of my favourite heats as well, that one. Heat B.
Heat B is a good Heat of this
Yeah,
series.
I like it because like all the robots aren't terrible. They actually are all okay.
Yeah, even Wheelosaurus.
Yeah, but the Wheelosaurus is a fun it's a fun robot.
Respect for Peter Gibson, man.
It's a fun robot, and it's like
I hope he's still alive. Does anyone actually? If anyone knows this, please let me know if Peter Gibson is still alive.
I don't know. Actually, he was old when it was the series 2, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, last time we saw him was series 4, obviously, so we don't know since then. But I hope he is. But yeah, this fight, at the end of the day, it came down to King Buxton's forks being slightly better than All Talk's padded spikes.
Yes.
And they got actually that bit shocked me when I was a kid because I thought to myself, oh, All Talk's gonna completely own this, and then they got a push, and I remember when I was younger going, what?
Yeah.
It's like no, no. I was in the pit, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. I remember at the time I was like, I didn't like King Buxton. I was like, King Buxton, who cares? And I'm like, now I like it. Like for some reason, like when I was younger, I didn't like those kind of robots or just boxes. So I think I hated things like Wild Thing and I hated Tornado. Actually, I don't like Tornadoes still, but I respect it. I just don't like it. And all things like Wild Thing, and King Buxton. I wasn't a fan of Stinger when I was younger either. I was just like, oh, they're just wheels. Then this is when I was like, yeah, hit the disc, destroy everything. That's all I wanted to say.
Back in the day. I'll admit, even I was a guy who literally believed that damage was everything, and now I think, motherfucker, what a fucking idiot.
It's part of the experience. It's part of the experience.
Yeah.
It's part of the experience. But it's driving and control for me. But
it's an even mishmash. I mean, it's a mishmash of good weaponry, effective design, good driving, and good control.
I agree.
Because if you don't even up on all of those, I mean, look at Chaos 2 for example. Good weaponry, yes.
Good driving.
Good control, well driven, and effective design.
And reliable.
And reliable. Oh yeah, reliability.
It never broke down once in my memory.
It got KO'd a couple of times.
I think that was usually because of CO2 supplies running out near the end of a battle, like Smidsy and Dan Tompkins battles.
Well, 30 back killed it in one shot. In all fairness.
Yeah. That's fair enough, but yeah, it's mostly reliable, and King Buxton won the heat by just driving its opponents. Quite a simple fight, really. Just kind of pushed it into the pit after a bit of jostling, and I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. So we have King Buxton the winner. Sad loss to All Talk. They will come back next series and try their best again, but then they get beaten by Wild Thing. So
yes.
Oh well. and then it's, as I said, it's downhill from there. But yeah, so what would you give this heat out of 10? If I need to ask.
9 easily.
9.
Yeah, well, actually, no, I'm gonna say 8.
All right, okay, fair enough.
I just remembered how bad the Gauntlet runs were.
yeah, fair enough.
And in all honesty, I can't, hand on heart, I can't turn around and say this is better. I mean, there are some heats out there that I would give a 9, 9.5 out of 10, and I can't say this is as good as them.
Fair enough.
Even if the Gauntlets were already that good, but it's still easily the best heat of series 2 by a large margin.
To me, it's either this or all right.
By a margin as big as Rottweiler's ground clearance.
Oh, that's a lot.
By a margin as big as Gabriel's ground clearance.
I was gonna say Groundhogs, but Gabriel beats that.
Yeah. Mate, literally, his wheels are the size of a washing machine.
Jesus, guy's a big robot.
Scary.
Oh man, I wish I got to sit out in the pits because that thing is huge.
Yes.
You don't get the scale of it until you see it next to a person, and you're just like, whoa, that's big.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I wish I'd seen that in the pits at some point. That'd been great to see that robot.
Yeah.
But oh well. And so that's 9 out of 10. I said I don't do 10s, so that's a bit weird. But next week we actually have. I would consider this sort of the down spiral for the last 3 heats of the series. Don't get me wrong, they're not, apart from Heat L, they're not terrible. J and K aren't terrible, but they're just,
They're not as good as this Heat.
No, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like Kilotron's Heat. I don't hate it. There's not a lot of love in it, yeah. And we got GBH, obviously, who is basically Scrapper with a new shell. Literally, I'm not even like, there's no liability there. It is Scrapper with a different shell. The chassis is the same. They even said it was, so I can't be blamed for misinformation.
Yeah.
Ivanhoe, which is just a shield, which is the Splinter later one. Splinter, pretty good.
Yeah.
But they come out with this thing first. it's okay. It's just a series.
Penetrator, which sounds like a really bad porn star.
I'll tell you, because as I said before, I'm recording this after I've recorded one for this heat, so I'm surprised I didn't make a really terrible joke during it. I refrained from making any jokes about that name, so I deserve a medal for that.
Talos, which was just a beige brick with a spiky thingy.
Good, well, barely spiky thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have Killdozer, which is like a little low version, slightly more effective version of Angel of Death in a few heats' time.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
And you're gonna enjoy that one. And then finally, Brute. Just
yay!
It's Brute. I mean, we'll get to that. I'll get to it with Sam in that heat, but spoilers. I find it such a morbidly hilarious robot. I don't know why. It's again. For the preview, it's because they take it so badly. It's sort of funny.
Yeah.
How badly? I mean, these are the only team that didn't stay for the interviews. Even Cruella stayed for an interview. These guys, or PS Resistance stayed around for a bit. These guys, gone.
Yeah, well, I just couldn't be bothered. I mean, that is very bad sportsmanship in my opinion.
A little bit. I mean, again, you could say, because it's got 2 kids on it, and I suppose, but it's still kind of weird that they didn't just decide to pack their bags and go. Yeah. Use it as a foot stand now.
Yeah.
It's basically a box. But yeah, that was Heat I. A very good heat. I'd say to me it's joint with Heat B. I think I like Heat B slightly more, maybe just because of the fact that all the robots were at least they actually all worked and looked all quite reliable.
And some future legends has come out of it.
I agree. Yeah. We got at least 2. We at least got 2. We got one twice reigning champion, and one that actually created created the first cluster bots. That's something, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a bit overrated, the robot, it's still quite nice to see it for the first time. So, but again, we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah.
But so that was Heat I. Heat J coming up as a bumper bill, thanks to the way I've been recording this lately. So so that's me, Jimjamatic, and
me and Snow132. Thank you for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.